2 liters, guys. 2 liters daily. Drink water and mind your own business. It's a very good slogan, and if we put it to practice, it really works. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hosanna. Welcome. Let's have a conversation. So, where have I been? It's a long story, guys. Long story. It's not actually a long story. It's just something short. You know, when you are from COVID and all those other big shocks, it makes it a very big story. But actually, mostly it is COVID. It began with COVID. COVID was a very big shock to us as the world, the pandemic. You know, we had to adjust a lot of things. We were in shock. We weren't sure of what to do the next day. No one was totally sure of what is going to happen. Because I remember in Kenya, there were these daily updates of how many people, how many, we literally saw death coming closer. And that is enough to really take someone off. The pandemic 2020 was a serious push. Due to COVID, it really had to make me sit down and reflect about my life, just like anyone else, everyone else. I had to reflect about my life, whether that's what I wanted, and of course COVID coming in with many changes. You know, we were thinking about, should we relocate now that we are not sure? You know, should we go back to another country? Should we, you know, and it was actually very hard to even move. Remember, there were lockdowns, so you weren't sure of what to do next. And because of staying indoors and being masked and seeing a lot of news, there was a lot of the mind shift. You know, some of us really accepted to really shift a lot of things. If you were high class, this was the time to think, I need to downgrade, you know. And so if you're living in the city, this was the time to think, should I go back to the village? There was a lot of things, and for me, I was ready to do anything. Though it was very shocking, but I was ready to adjust in any way. So during that time, I had to think and sit down and think, because first of all, you are in the house 24/7. You're seeing people die, and it's not only even in your country, but in the whole world. And of course, seeing like the people are not finding a solution very fast. It was a very scary bit, because I'm like, if the developed countries are not finding a solution, and this is where COVID has come from, and that's where they are dying from, you know, in large numbers. I was like, what about us? If it came to Africa, that was a very triggering question. If it came to Africa, because that's actually the whole world was thinking that as Africans we're going to die, you know. And so even us Africans were thinking, what if it happens? What are we going to do? Yeah, so a lot of the adjustments, a lot of thinking, and that's where I was, just like any other person. And I had shot the last video in 2019, very hopeful of 2020, just like any other person. Because for me, as a person who likes even numbers, being in 2019, I didn't like it. I knew 2020 was coming. I was anticipating it to be the best year, because it is an even number, 2020. Who had heard of that? No one else. So 2020 was actually a year we thought it was going to be very nice, very fruitful, full of blessings. We are going to another level. Some of us had posted that cow woman. You know, the cow woman whom everyone posts, especially women, they post showing that she's going to leave everything behind and she's moving forward, she's leaving all the negativity. We were really anticipating 2020 to be a very good year, but it never happened. And that brought a lot in me. So because one of the things that I was thinking about was like, we are going to have all this free time, because they were talking of years. Really, you could see that we are going to be in a lockdown for years. We had even gotten used to it. So I'm like, what can someone do really during this time? You can't be so much productive. You're not going out to work. You're not going to do anything. So in that time, I was like, I cannot waste my time. Let me add on these children that I have. I had only 2 sons. And I was starting to see them being alone. I'm like, what if I add there another child? And that's what I did, guys. I got a COVID baby. They were called COVID babies. I remember that during that time, all comedians were making jokes saying that we shall be naming our children Corona, 2019, those other things, funny names that we were using during that time. So I got one of those babies, and it has been such a miracle, such a nice thing to get a child, and actually took my thoughts away from all the fears that other people had and all that. Because, you know, when you're pregnant, your body changes, you have a lot to take care of, so your mind shifts to that you are carrying. So it really helped me. It was like a therapy when I got pregnant. And so happily enough, I got my baby in 2021, and right now he's 2 and almost 2.5, and he's such another addition to the family, another joy. And you know, of course, it doesn't only end at giving birth to them. You have to take care of them. So that one also came in, raising them. You know, that first time, there was a very big gap between the second one and this other baby. A very big gap of 6 years. And so it was like I was starting afresh. I was like the first mother, you know, this fresh mother. And I didn't know a lot of things to do, readjusting, buying diapers, things I had forgotten. So it really took a lot of my time to reteach myself, because after 6 years, it's really a long period, guys. You feel like you're just doing it the first time. So I was readjusting, learning, breastfeeding again. And you know, the way I had mentioned in other videos before, I do it for like 3 years. So you can imagine this person who's like 2 and almost a half still has a lot of many months to go. So I'm still doing the thing, only that now that he's a little bit older, I can shoot, I can come and shoot again and talk, have conversations with you, because it's not so demanding the way it was before when he was very little. So raising them, of course, an addition means more work. So now I have 3 children, and guess what, guys? I don't use maids. I really don't have maids. It's literally me and their dad who is so much into their lives. So we are really hands-on parents who are doing everything. So it's actually a lot of work. Parenting is not easy. Yeah, those people who are parenting know what I mean. And especially it's harder if you don't have a lot of help around. So that means the chores, all things at home, we are the ones that do them. And so it created a lot of work that didn't allow me to also do other things. So I had put a halt on shooting, because I really saw we are so much demanded in their lives. And then another unfortunate thing happened during that time. These other past years have really not been easy for me. You know, something very unfortunate also happened. My mom got sick. She got so sick in a way that she really needed all of us, all her children, in her presence. Like, she really needed help. And so I had to move from Kenya and go back to Uganda to be with my mom for a short time. And you know, of course, it was very scary that, you know, during that time you don't know what is going to happen. So I needed to go back home, and I had spent something like 4 years away without seeing her. So I really desperately needed to go back home and see her, because I couldn't stand being in another country when my mother is sick and all my siblings are there trying so hard to make sure our mother lives, and me, I'm just away from them, not able to come to join them. So it was very difficult for me that I really had to make a serious decision with a little baby to board and go back home to Uganda for some time and be with my mom. You know, because I've lost a dad. I don't have a dad, and she's the only parent that I have. I didn't want to go through that thing, loss. You know, because I had lost my dad when I was at university. I wasn't there when he died. And that fear, you know, of like, is it going to happen again when I'm away? I didn't want it to happen again. So I had to jump on the fastest bus and go back to Uganda and be with my mom for some time. And of course, I needed that time also, because I had just given birth. I needed that time to be with my family, to, you know, as just a new mother, sometimes you really need that help. The way I had already told you, there is not so much help that we have here. So I wanted to have that help back home with my siblings, and of course at the same time checking on my mom. So I had to move to Uganda for some time. You know, when you go through all those things, there is a lot of growing, a lot of thinking, a lot of things happen to you as a person, and you start to adjust, you know. I had a lot of time to think, to reflect on my life as a mother, as a person, as Hosi myself. What do I want? What do I need? And so that is even where the changing of the channel comes from, because for those of you who have watched the previous videos of like 4 years, 3 years ago, we were calling the channel Tatua Life. And this time I really wanted to come with a change and focus on myself as a person. What are my ideas? What are my thoughts as Hosi? And so that is why I named the channel. I renamed the channel Hosi 101, because this time I'm bringing myself, the true me, the matured me, the modified me, you know, the person who has changed the mind, and I want to bring it to you. And I think this is a very beautiful gift, because to me, where I am, I'm thinking that I've really thought a lot. I've gone through a lot of things that have changed me and have shaped me to be who I am, and I've come with lessons that someone can learn from. I'm hoping that I can keep on slowly by slowly bringing out things that I've learned. So that someone who is almost going through them, or coming out of them, or is almost going to go through them, will learn something from me, learn 1 or 2 things from me. So guys, bring more people who can learn from me. Another thing that people need to do is also adjust your mind, change your mind on thinking about people the way you knew them previously. There are some people that I meet and they continue on to thinking about me the way I was while in high school. They want to judge me like that person they met in high school, like that person they met 5 years ago. Someone can change in a month. So sometimes you always need to adjust yourself and get to understand someone on a new level, not the way you got to know them. So I'm bringing the new self. I'm bringing myself. Some opinions that I might have had those years back, they might have changed. Some videos might have been saying something that I don't agree with anymore right now. So that's why I'm saying, bring new people. Let's listen to who I am in 2023 going forward. Let's subscribe, like, you know, comment, and this should be an interactive conversation. Interactive. You write down in the comment section what you think. You bring more people, share, subscribe. Let us make new friends. Let us just create this place to be a very conversational place, safe for all of us. Yeah. In a nutshell, I think that is it. That describes who I have been, and going on forward, I really want to bring in good content that you will be liking, you know. So sit down, let us enjoy this place, let us be ourselves. I think the most thing that I'm enjoying most in these years and as I grow up is that we become more authentic as we grow. You don't have so much to hide, your mistakes, your what, because I take all of them as if they're just lessons, something to learn from, and I'm liking the space that I'm in right now. A few things, you know, Facebook likes bringing back those things that you used to post. Sometimes I look at my previous posts of like 2012 and I'm like, what was I thinking about? Was that me? So that means every year that is added on, you change, you grow, and so new wise ideas come to you as a person, and you carry less load. And so for me, I'm trying to enjoy my life as it comes and giving God the biggest space in my heart. And so I'll be very glad to share the new me with you. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great time.